2023 has not been friendly. If you're a Flames fan, you're questioning a lot of things right now. Dylan and Chris from the ArmChair GM podcast have brought in Ray Williams to discuss it. Hockey Podcast Network coming at you. Let's discuss it.
Well, guys, since the calendar flipped to 2023, we've had quite a few disappointing losses. We're still picking up some points, but
I can hear it in your voice, Dylan. It seems like it's been a rough 4 games.
yes, it has. What do you think, Ray?
Yeah, it's definitely it's supposed to be new year, new me, and I don't think I've seen anything new from these guys really. It's just it's the same old. They show up for one game and then they just progressively just get worse and worse as it goes.
Calgary losing to bottom feeding teams when they're supposed to be contending is not like a new year, new me thing. That's just a same decade as the last decade and the decade before.
It's been a thing for some time. You know, we, for whatever reason, with different players, with different managers, with different coaches, we tend to play to the level of the opponent.
Yeah. It's weird how phenomenon like that happened. Like, how have the Minnesota Wild gone through like 7 different coaches and different management and 7 different cores, and they're still playing the fucking trap? Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
And here we are doing the same thing we've been doing for decades, losing to shitty teams.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen that different result. Like you said, for the last decade, we've been stuck in this perpetual cycle of I don't know what you want to call it, old school hockey, or just that crazy dump and chase thing, and it just doesn't seem to be working for them, and it hasn't worked then, and it's certainly not working now.
Well, yeah, in order to be successful at dump and chase, you have to have speed, physicality, and tenaciousness, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to have guys willing to buy into that to get your ass to the corner and go get the puck, right? You got to be rabid dogs in there.
Like, currently it's like Coleman and Dubé are the only two that can, and Dubé kind of gets knocked around a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Both couple of little guys. Coleman at least can throw his weight around, what little he has for weight, but he's hard to get off the puck, and he's tenacious,
fights for it back,
and he fights. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, what are you gonna do? Send Mangiapane into the corner to go chase the puck every goddamn shift?
He won't make it to the corner. He'll fall over first.
He'll probably fall over.
Yeah. Like, it's clearly not a system that's going to work with the current roster.
It's hard to make it. I guess he could go crashing into the corner and just take everyone out.
Yeah, just go cannonball style, right? And just, hopefully Dubé's not in the way.
All right. Well, first game of the year was the Jets game on the 3rd.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't hate the way they played this game. It wasn't horrible, especially considering the Jets are doing so well. And I know a lot of people have been kind of shitting on them because the Jets had so many of their regulars out, but the Jets are 24-13 mostly with those guys out. Like Ehlers and Connor have been out a long, like the vast majority of the season, and Wheeler's been out a lot of that time, and they have no like Brendan Dillon and Dylan DeMello are on their second pairing, It is what it is. They're just a good team. But I thought we played pretty good most of that game, though.
Yeah, we took a few stupid penalties, right?
Yeah.
Like we had 5 penalties in that game. It didn't amount to anything as far as Winnipeg was concerned, but it also eliminates from us being able to play our game, right?
Mhm.
Though we seem to play better when we're on the PK anyway, so it may be a strategy moving forward. Who knows?
Just be on the PK and
Yeah.
send Dubé out there and he'll get a shorthanded goal.
Oh yeah, between Coleman and Backlund and Lewis and Lindholm. I mean, the PK looks pretty solid for the most part.
It does. Our
Yeah.
PK is good. It's just the rest of
Oh yes, there's the 3 power plays we had in that game as well that also didn't amount to anything. Right.
yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were getting at.
Oh, okay. Should we just move on from that game and talk a little bit about the Islanders game?
Sure, the highlight of the month so far, the 1 win. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Taking it to the aisle.
Yeah. So let's get your opinion on this one, Ray. Obviously Lucic opened the scoring in this one. How do you feel about having that big hulking son of a bitch on the second line or second line, whatever you want to call it?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna work. I mean, I love the guy, right? Like there's no more flame that I love more than I love Milan Lucic. You know what I mean? Like he just, the guy's played for X amount of years. He's kind of earned his spot out there, right? So do I think that he deserves the opportunity to be up there with the first and second line? Sure, every other night or whatever the case may be, then sure, fine. But I think they got to find out who's going to be their top line and who's going to gel, right? Like it just seems to be it's not, and I hate bringing back players that aren't here anymore and kind of bringing up that thing. But
Yeah,
when we had those 2 guys up front, we knew what we were going to get out of it. There was, he had the speed, he essentially had everything. He had the speed, you had the pass, and you had the receiving of the passes and so forth. And it just seems like for the 2 elite players that they brought on in Huberdeau and Kadri, like it just seems like it's just taken a dramatic step back. And I don't know if that's because the players can't, really. And that's the one thing that I guess I kind of noticed is they don't really receive passes from Huberdeau. They more or less try to take them or force them. Yeah. Which hasn't seemed, because the guy's a passing machine, and he makes some pretty good passes, but it's just.
And
I like the big guy. I see him on the third line, fourth line kind of role. That's where I would like him, because it just seems those are the lines that kind of bring energy, and he seems to be that energy guy, right? And I don't think putting him on the first line, I think weighs down the third and fourth line a little bit more than it should.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think it's a long-term thing, but it's also currently working. And I think that you bring up a really good point there about the other guys not being able to take his passes, Huberdeau's passes. And Luch is actually corralling those passes. And I again, there's no way in hell that Lucic on the second line or first line or whatever you want to call it in the top 6 is a long-term sustainable option for a competitive team. It's just not. But again, part of the whole, part of being a good coach is seeing that something is working and not stopping it until it stops working.
Yeah.
Right. And he's got 6 points in his last 10 games. That's second liner numbers, It's
nothing wrong with their production.
100%.
Yeah.
What's his plus minus?
I'm not sure. I don't have. Let me check.
Because I mean,
it -3, but that's throughout the whole season, right? And he had a really, really rough stretch there. I don't know what his plus minus would be in the last few games, but
in his last 5 games, it's +2. So, I mean, you both are right. I mean, obviously, a team looking to be competitive in the playoffs likely shouldn't have Luch on the second or whatever line you want to call it.
Top six.
Top six. You know, it's that just means that we don't have the available players to play in the top six that we should.
You don't have anyone better.
That's right.
Currently,
Is it working? Yes, currently. Do I
Would
think
it
it's
work
going to
better
be
if we had a better right winger and we could put Toffoli on that line?
maybe?
Probably.
But you also have to remember
Yeah, I
Toffoli.
think you're right.
Toffoli was still having an issue with Huberdeau as far as receiving that pass, even though he's right up there in goals. So it's really bizarre.
Yeah.
The
strange.
experiment so far with
Toffoli
Huberdeau.
with sniper, man.
I think if he could hit the net, that'd be great. Aside, I mean, if he could hit something that's not a post, like.
Well, I was going to say that he pots those things, those posts he's been hitting. We're not even having this conversation. We're talking about how great he is, and he's
right
going to the All-Star game at this
yeah,
point.
exactly. like how many do you think he's
right?
how many crossbar or posts do you think he's had this year? It's got to be up and around 12, 13, 14.
It's got to be a 10.
Yeah.
It's got to be 10 plus.
Like, holy shit.
For sure. Without question, 10 plus for sure. Because I think he hit like 4 in like the first 3 games of the year.
Yeah. No, I think he was tied last time I checked. He was tied for second in the league in posts. That was somebody posted it.
It's a damn shame because he's got a hell of a shot, and he can be a scoring machine. He's shown it in the past. I mean, he's not getting 60, but he's done well. He's one of the only guys that I really don't have an issue with. I hear too many people talk about how slow he is and whatnot. I don't see him lagging in the play. He's always right there.
Most of the time, no. There's the odd time, but it's not noticeable enough to care about that much. You know what I mean? Like, I think when he first came in at the last Valentine's Day, he was a little slow, and I think that was partly conditioning and partly all that extra hockey he was playing when making it to the Stanley Cup Finals the year before, and then getting traded halfway through the season the next year. Like, shit happens, and he was slow last year, but this year he's really he seems to be in pretty good shape. But yeah,
no,
so
he's been keeping up with the play.
What's that?
He's been keeping up with the play. The only thing I do notice that as soon as we gain possession, whether it be sustainable or just briefly, whenever we gather the puck in our own zone, he's flying up the ice. Like, he's already starting to go up. I would like to see a little bit less of that, because he's not the guy that I want necessarily trying to split through 2 defenders on a breakaway.
No, he's not Connor McDavid.
Right. So I would like to see a little more defensive accountability from him, but it's at the moment it's not costing us anything. So I don't have that big of a deal to talk about it on. So it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe you put him with Kadri and he lights the world on fire too, right? Like, that's the one thing I don't think that I've seen enough of yet. And I know how you feel about Kadri, Chris.
You know what? But I was excited to get him as a player. I mean, be damned what my personal opinion of the garbage that he's done in the past in the playoffs and stuff like that.
Stuff's kind of
I'll leave it there in the past. He's got the flaming C on his chest now, and so I'll let it ride. The one thing I really, really need to see less of, because it bugs me a lot, is every single play, as soon as he get touched and he's on the ice or whatever, he's throwing his arms out, looking at the refs, like, knock it off.
Just doing the McDavid. Yeah, I got you on that.
Like, be a man, get back in the play. Like, you're the play is leaving the zone. Quit fucking around. Like,
and to me, he tries to skate through guys instead of around them, and like, he's not the biggest player, right? Like, he's he likes to get nasty and stuff like that, but he's not as big as a lot of those guys, and he's trying to skate through them instead of around them. And then he wonders, like, it's not interference because he's got the puck, right?
Right.
Like he's, and it wouldn't, and if anything, it would be interference on him because he's like skating into the guy himself, right?
Yeah.
The other guy's just skating, like, you know what I mean? You have to go around the defender, not through.
It's a weird concept to initiate contact and then complain about contact.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that too. Him trying to go through guys. I always found him as that kind of elusive guy that kind of just sneaks up in place and sneaks up behind.
Yeah.
And
he's so much better at that.
It matters most. You know what I mean? It's what he did in Toronto. It's what he did in Colorado. Yeah. And it's just for some reason he's just, I don't know. He's kind of got, you know, he's on the Flames now, and it's almost like he's trying too hard.
Yeah, maybe I don't,
to a certain extent, show maybe show down how tough he is or whatever the case may be, that he's not soft and he's not this and he's not that, right?
Maybe he's trying to get up there and just, you know, take the team and like make the team his. Maybe he's just trying, like you said, trying too hard, but maybe he really wants the Flames to kind of be his team, right? And he's trying to prove that he's, you know, maybe captain material or something, but
fair enough.
Most captains, you know, that aren't, you know, Zdeno Chara, they'll probably try and skate around somebody instead of through them.
Yeah.
Chara could skate through them because he could.
I think Chara's going to say Chara can skate through anybody.
Yeah.
But so speaking of Kadri, was the goal he scored that game against the Islanders, was that really nice one from the goal line?
Yeah.
That like he purposely banked off of Varlamov's helmet. Right?
Yeah. That sounds right. Yeah.
No, like, and when he's not doing silly stuff and he's actually like shooting the puck and using his skill, he's a good player.
He's a great player.
Yeah. He showed it there, and you know, we got goals out of Coleman and Zadorov as well, and I mean that was a good game. I know that the Islanders were coming through; they were on their back-to-back. I think that was Varlamov's first game in quite a while, and the Islanders were missing Barzal, right? So.
Yeah,
it is what it is. It was a good win. We
but you have to take advantage of that situation, right? Where they didn't take advantage of a situation was the next game against Chicago.
Exactly.
You know, they didn't have Kane,
and they're Chicago.
They're Chicago. They're Chicago. Yeah.
Well, a point of reference to what you said about the Winnipeg game, right? And Winnipeg not having Ehlers and not having Connor, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, they're a good team because they're finding ways to win, even though their top guys aren't in the lineup, right? So, I mean, while Barzal was out, you got to give the Islanders a little bit more credit than that, right? I mean, the Islanders are not Matt Barzal, right? Even though he's a part of it.
That's right.
And Calgary just played a complete hockey. Calgary played that game the way they played all the first 5 games of the year this year,
right?
And when they played like that, it didn't matter who they were playing; they were unbeatable. They were fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to your point, you remember a few years back when Giordano, I think it was a knee injury, he or maybe a shoulder injury, he got knocked out with. I can't remember what the injury was, but then the team, after losing their best defenseman, won 10 games in a row.
Was that his bite? When he tore his bicep off or something like that?
I can't remember what the injury was. I just remember being like, shit, there's our season, right?
Yeah.
And then they won 10 games in a row because sometimes good teams do that.
Well, everybody stepped up. Everybody stepped up, right?
Yeah. It was a Chicago game. Let's see. First career goal for Lucas Reichel, first goal of the season for Colin Blackwell. Man, that's a Calgary thing to do.
Yeah. If you've got a player that hasn't done something, hasn't had an assist or a goal in a calendar year, or has never had an assist or a goal, just wait till you play Calgary because it'll
Yeah.
happen. Just be patient. It'll happen.
Exactly.
Like how many
Maybe-
times? How many times have we heard that from the broadcast?
Well, and it's not inaccurate. It's true.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like how many times? It's been a lot of fucking times over like the last decade. It's like that's where you go to Calgary to get out of a slump, score your first ever. Like it's unbelievable how many times it's happened. And as soon as they announced it on with Lucas, I just went, "Oh, yeah, another one."
Yep. Yeah.
Like, shit.
His dad played for Calgary, didn't he? Like years and years. Lucas, Robert Reichel.
Yeah.
Yeah, years and years back.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we squeezed the point. We squeezed the point out of aggressively rebuilding Chicago, which is great. I suppose. I guess 1 point is better than no points, but Max Domi.
I
you
mean,
know,
I
Max
mean,
Domi had a really good game against us, and now every Flames fan and their grandmother is like, "We need Max Domi."
yeah.
No, we don't. No, we
Yeah.
don't.
No, we don't. we
Another-
fucking don't.
And another small left winger. No, we don't.
Poor man's Kadri.
Not even that. Like he's a lot worse.
Yeah.
Like I don't want him. There's
Yeah.
nothing about him that I want.
No.
Yeah, nothing.
But I guess good sign here. Huberto picks up a couple points. Lucic sets him up really nicely there. For that one-timer goal. We need more fucking one-timers.
Yeah.
But
Kadri with a goal in back-to-back games.
yeah, and then an overtime loss because that is also a Calgary thing to do this year, apparently.
One thing you
I
haven't
can't
talked.
remember the last overtime game we won.
It's been some time. Yeah, one thing you didn't mention there, and or even on the other two there is Elias Lindholm quietly going about his business with a goal and an assist as well.
Yeah, no, he's after a relatively slow start, he's really stepping up, and it's good because you need your quote unquote number one center to produce and to continue his Selke ways,
Yep.
which I do think he's been pretty good at this year.
Yeah.
And then if you move on to the next game, I'm actually I think it's been about 15 games since I said this, but Mangiapane had a good game.
He did. Yeah.
Yes,
I actually phoned into 960 because Pat and I always have arguments about how fucking bad Mangiapane is this year. And I actually straight up said, I was like, hey man, your boy almost single-handedly got us a point against the Blues, who is somebody we need 2 points against. We need to start winning these games that they're not even in our division, but they're like 3 points back of the wild card spot that we currently are in.
Well, yeah. With where the standings are right now, if St. Louis beats us in regulation on Thursday,
Tomorrow, yeah.
what is that, the 12th of January, they'll actually knock us out of the wild card.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So we need to win against these guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we need to do it in regulation. Like we had a 2-goal lead. We scored three. Actually, all of them were pretty decent goals. A nice deflection from Backlund where it was actually. I've been screaming about this all season. Like we need to get in front of the net.
right.
And like every time I started talking about it and how it's been like 3 games since I've seen anybody get in front of the net. Every time I start talking about it, that happens. So maybe I should just continuously rant about it during games because that was a really nice deflection. Kadri had a nice one a couple days before.
And what about the silky hands of Kadri for that pass over to Milan for that goal in the first goal in the first period. Like that was nice.
And it's funny, I had somebody arguing with me about, oh, one of the reasons we got to get Lucic off that line is because he won't pass to Kadri. And then I messaged him, I was like,
How about when
that was
Kadri
like the
passes
most
to him?
deliberate pass to Lucic I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah, and he nailed it. Like there's every aspect of that. Luch, like a freight train going towards the net.
you know who that reminded me of is Shane Doan. That's a Shane Doan goal.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
fair,
100%.
fair
Yeah.
point. Yeah,
Yeah.
And let's not forget, right? In the last 5 games, Luch has 3 points, 2 goals, and an assist.
Yeah.
I mean, the man's just made for winning. Now,
He is. I
now
suppose.
Well, hey, let it ride, man. You know what I mean? Like
you got to ride the hot
it's
guy,
working,
right?
but I don't know if it's like it's not sustainable.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. I agree. And one thing I mentioned in the last show, when it comes to with Luch being on that line with Huberto, it seems to really create a lot of space for Jonathan to be able to skate around and do his thing, which is nice because then he can actually get a good full vision of what's going on with the ice, and he can make the appropriate plays and the appropriate passes and actually quarterback, that line properly. Because Luch is, I mean, he's been hitting again. He's skating his ass off every shift. He's always involved in the play right now. So, I mean, clearly Milan
And he's
is
not
excited.
like giving the puck away much, or like he's
No.
not like
he's clearly excited to be doing it. And so, keep it going until that luster wears off, and then, make the change then. But I mean, from what I'm seeing, I feel like at least another 5 games, keep it going.
The whole thing that Sutter is, he preaches is accountability and earning what you're getting, right? And what Luch is doing right now is he's making Sutter not move him down,
right? Which is what you want.
Well, by being a fucking good hockey player right now. Now, he probably should have been scratched for those 3-4 games he was scratched, because he was fucking bad for like 2 weeks before that.
Yeah.
Right. But then he came back and he proved something. Right. And now he's, again, not sustainable, but why would you break something up that's working currently?
So basically what you're saying, Dylan, is he's doing what any AHL player that comes to the Flames for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, what they should be doing to stay in the lineup.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're gonna have to impress Sutter, right? I mean,
that's right. You got to do something.
Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. You can get called up as much as you want, but unless you change that guy's mind about where you should be playing.
Oh, you're talking about play wise. I thought you just meant being 6'3", 240.
No.
I know. I'm joking.
Well, in that case, they should be bringing up that big kid from Durango.
Yeah.
There's what is it, Klapka?
Yeah.
I got to see him a couple of nights ago. Boy, is that guy big.
Yeah, he's a big kid. He's a big kid.
Like he plays forward too. I'm just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like this is insane. He should be clapping it on the blue line, but they just no. He's just going right towards the net, and we're gonna use that big body the way we need to, and here we go.
That's pretty much all you can do.
Yeah.
I think Dewar looked pretty good against St. Louis.
Me too. Let's talk about Dewar for a second. He's the right guy to be brought up for the role.
For the fourth line role?
For Richie being out.
Yeah.
You don't bring up Zary, you don't bring up Phillips, you don't bring up Peltier to take Richie's spot. You take up Dewar, because that is the type of player Dewar is.
Yeah.
Right? If Dewar is going to be successful in the NHL, he's going to be a 3rd or 4th line grinder.
Yep.
Whereas Zary and Peltier, if they're going to be successful in the NHL, they're going to be top 6 forwards.
Exactly. They have to be top 6, right?
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, he was all over the ice. He was hitting. He was showing his speed. Made the odd mistake. it's going to happen. He hasn't spent a bunch of time with his line mates or with the team, so is what it is. But anybody that comes in and is noticeable with energy is fine by me. You know what I mean? Like if we would have seen that kind of effort from Phillips would still be playing for the Flames.
Mhm.
But we didn't. We just saw a lot of floating, and he just looked lost, right?
So let's have a quick before we move on to a little game we're going to play after our ad break. Let's talk real quick about the goaltending situation.
The one that had Vladar coming in to rescue like a wounded dog in Markstrom.
Like what's going on with Markstrom? Like he had a good couple weeks there, and now he's back to looking like the last two games. And like the thing
I
is,
don't know.
yeah, like that like most of the goals he let in, or two of the goals I believe he let in Chicago, he did that like fall over, reach back, miss thing. And then you're like, okay, he's back. He's going to be good in St. Louis. And the first thing he does is fall over and reach back and miss. And you're just like, what's going on?
How in the hell did he get the start in St. Louis?
So,
See, that's another question. I don't know.
Like Vladar takes over in Chicago, stands on his fucking head,
yes.
like makes what 3, 4, 10 bell saves,
Yeah,
and still can't get himself a start. Like, god damn it, Sutter.
I'm not going to be
Like-
shocked, but I'll be pretty appalled if he's not starting tomorrow in St. Louis.
Right. Absolutely.
He should have started the
Like-
last game.
Like, I don't know what's going on with Markstrom, but there is definitely something going on.
Yeah.
So he needs to start less games. Period.
I'm thinking. So I mean, I think Vladar's earned it. I think he's earned more starts. I mean,
Yeah.
like you said, the team seems to be. He came in the Chicago game and played lights out, and he seems to be kind of saving the team more times than not. Why
That's
not?
right.
Why not do the same thing you're doing with Lucic and ride?
That's right.
Let him go. Take the leash off, and make him lose the spot essentially, because Markstrom's already lost it in my mind, at least from a fan standpoint, where it's like enough is enough, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and I don't think they should.
Here.
I don't think they should just ride Vladar like all the time. They should just kind of send a message by like, throwing Vladar in for St. Louis and Dallas, and then Markstrom in for one, and then Vladar in for a couple, and then Markstrom in for one for 2-3 weeks. Just give Vladar 2 starts to Markstrom's 1.
100%. That was kind of where I was going with that.
Yeah, flip the roles,
Yes.
right? Flip the roles. That's it. And it wouldn't even be flipping the roles because Sutter doesn't play the backup like he should, right?
Yeah.
He started the thing he was very vocal about at the beginning of the season is he wants Vladar to be able to get 1 game a week. Well, Sutter has not been true to his word at all. Vladar has just
counted all those games where Vladar started in a row there. I think he's counted all of those and just like spread those throughout the next 5 weeks.
Exactly. Yeah, that doesn't give you gimme weeks, Sutter.
Yeah.
Play the goalie that's better at the moment. That's how you win games. Like I understand you want your $6 million man to play through whatever's ailing him. We don't have time as a team to sit through whatever's ailing or whatever's going through Markstrom's head.
Yeah.
Get him out of there.
We're in a wild card race. We're in a wild card race where the 2 teams underneath us and the Oilers, the Blues, I can't even remember who. Oh, the Avalanche and us are all within like 3-4 points of each other all the time. We need to keep pace. We don't have time to worry. Like
that's right.
We gotta go with what's gonna win games.
This will be the one time, and I probably compliment Edmonton, but look what they did with Skinner and Campbell, right? Campbell came in on the big contract, $5 million a year. Skinner was unsigned at the moment, and Campbell just completely fell off a cliff, essentially. And now the kid goes in and he plays, and for the most part, minus having no defense, he's been playing pretty good. I mean, he's had our number now, twice, right? So why not give it a try? Why not give it a shot? Who knows? Maybe you catch lightning in a bottle, right? And this kid freaking, like you said, 2-1, 2 starts for him. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe the kid wins, 18 games, and the next thing you know, instead of fighting for a wild card, we're in the top 4. I mean, you have to do something, because it's just what you're currently doing with Markstrom isn't working.
It's not working. That's right.
And like it happens sometimes. Young goalies can't, like, I'll count Vladar as young, but like young goalies can catch fire. Like fucking Freddie Anderson got hurt, and then Peter Kochetkov went in and won 10 out of 14 games, like with outstanding numbers. Like sometimes it just happens.
That's right. That's right. I mean,
and there's a couple of teams that are like that, where their backups have kind of come into place, right?
Yeah.
So
that's why you have a fucking backup.
That's right. Yeah, your main guy is tired or struggling or whatever. You put the other guy in. It's just how it is, right? No, I will be severely
the point is too
upset
right?
if Vladar doesn't start in the second game in St. Louis.
Yeah,
I think.
What were you saying there, Ray?
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I was gonna say. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You got a goaltender that's under a no movement clause anyway. So what's he gonna do? Leave the team?
Right.
Yeah. He doesn't really have any options at this point, but other than to let the other guy play, right? Because it's like,
well, that's right. The only option we have is
don't like it anyway.
That's right. The only option we have is if Markstrom decides on his own that he wants to leave, then that's our best option, really, right? Like just That's
at this point he's playing. I just don't know how you go from being a Vezina candidate to being like a trash can. Like it's just. And
I mean, Saros did
like
the same thing at the beginning of the year. Like, goalies are fucked, man.
No, they are strange. They do have a different mindset. That's for sure.
If you take the shutouts away, like take those games out of Markstrom's season.
So wait a second. If you take all of the best games he played away, go ahead.
All his numbers are on pace for his career average.
Okay, but you're taking away all of the best games that he played last year.
Yeah, all 9.
Yeah.
Was it 9 or 10? I can't remember how many shutouts.
So that's an eighth of the season.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, taking away games, it's fucking silly to me.
Yeah. No, what I'm saying is, and you and I have this conversation a lot. I will give him credit on those shutouts 100%, like without a doubt.
Yeah.
But we also get shut out on occasion, and we talk about it was because we couldn't get pressure in and we're doing perimeter shots and shit like that. When
that's
our
what
defense
happened. That's part of what his success was last year, was the team, and the team's not doing that this year. The team's fucking shit in front of him this year.
Exactly.
And the team's way better in front of Vladar, which is another reason why you got to start Vladar, because the team.
And you know what? I will disagree with you on that. If you look at the Chicago game in particular, the defense was no different.
Oh,
Vladar stood on his fucking head.
Yes, but in general, it has been good. But like, it has been better in general. And obviously, there's outlier games like when you replace Markstrom in the middle of a absolute shit show of a game. You know what I mean?
And again,
for Vladar starts, I'll say
at some point, your Vezina finalist goalie,
needs to play like it.
Your $6 million goalie needs to be just that.
Yeah.
Right? Because defenses break down in front of goalies 20 times a game.
Yeah.
Make the save.
Yeah.
Just make the save. That's what you're paid to do. I'm so
No, that's
fucking
fair.
I'm so fucking tired of the whole team in front of them. Make the goddamn save. Could you imagine if we said the same things
Well,
about Mika Kiprasov? The team in front of Mika Kiprasov was fucking garbage.
For most of the time, yeah.
He made the saves.
Yeah.
Make the goddamn
100%.
save. That's what
I mean,
I'm
that guy
saying.
stole games. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly. I'm so sick of the.
he's-
It takes
he might not
5 players. Yeah.
kill that game for you.
It takes 5 players. No, it takes one fucking player. Do your job. Make the save.
Well, it's almost like
story.
when he.
I mean, it is
when
a
the other team-
it is a 24 player game. It's a 23 player game. It's not just a fucking 1 player game. And I do agree with you that yes, he needs to fucking bear down and make the saves. But like
Now
when the
I'm not-
defense is crumbling in front of him over and over and over and over,
sure.
it's not ideal for him. I'm not going to say,
Sure.
it's always an excuse, because it's not. He lets in soft ass shit a lot.
A lot. Absolutely. But I mean,
that doesn't help.
Like 2-on-1s happen, 5 to 10 times a game, every game in the NHL.
Pretty much, yeah.
How many of those do you think go in? 1, 2? If you're not Calgary?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That happens. Defensive breakdowns happen every single game.
Oh, for sure.
If professional goalies around the league were like Markstrom, scoring would be up 25% in the league.
Well, scoring is up quite a bit this year. It's probably
No,
about 20.
from what it is right now.
Oh,
That's like, I understand it goes up every year. I get that. I'm saying if there was 31 other teams that had goaltending like Markstrom, scoring would be up 25% in the league. Like, as nothing to do with defense. Right? Make the save. He's having just a garbage year. He's having an off year. And I'm going to defend him on the games that we lose 2-1, because we're not scoring. But I mean, like games,
you got to score, and you got to,
right. We need 3 goals and all that. But
part of scoring is being able to fucking get the goddamn puck out of your end sometimes. Another part of scoring is to actually aim for something that's not the goalie's chest.
Right. And also part of scoring is not needing to play a defensive role to compensate for goaltending.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Right.
He's been piss poor. He had those few weeks there where he looked like he was coming back, and then he just fucking collapsed. And it's hard to watch.
He had like 5 or 7 games in a row in December there that he was looking like he was coming back. It was great, right? But since the new year, he's been terrible. And he started every game. So that I put on coaching. I put on coaching.
That's fair.
Yeah. But anyways,
I'm looking at save percentage right now for goalies who have started quite a bit here, and he's in a sea of starters. Actually, Jordan Binnington, Jake Allen, Martin Jones, Bobrovsky, John Gibson. Not good starters.
Right. I was going to say
Thatcher Demko, Spencer Martin, Jonathan Quick, Philip Grubauer. Like, goalies are not good this year. Like, what's the highest one? There's a 938 and a 924, but like, the goalies have not been very good this year. A few of them have been able to raise, but like, goals are up this year a lot. And again, Markstrom hasn't been good, but anyways.
No, I'd rather him stop them easy ones than stop the really dramatic great ones.
Me too. No, me too. Make the easy save.
Yeah.
Make the easy save. If you're letting in, a 4th opportunity where you're fucking the rest of your players are running around like fucking idiots, that I can forgive because that's not completely on you. But if you're letting in squeakers like the 2 in the Chicago game followed by the 1 in the St. Louis game.
The one there's in my opinion, there is 3 goals that should not have happened.
No,
against
I'm
St.
just
Louis.
saying the 3 I'm talking about looked the exact same, where he fell
Right.
over and tried to reach back and just like
Yeah,
could've-
thankfully Sutter recognized an offside
Well, yeah, it's like
for that
it's like
last
with
one, right?
defense too,
'Cause,
right?
yeah, it was
Yeah.
bad.
yeah.
But yeah,
Anyway, shall we
think
break
we could-
for an ad?
sure. Yeah, we'll do that.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, take a break, guys. So we'll be right back. The NFL playoff picture is locked in, and my go-to place for wildcard round action is DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. To kick off the road to Super Bowl 57, new customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. Plus, all new and existing customers can get a no-sweat bet each day of the wildcard round this weekend. Just place any NFL bet of your choice, and if it loses, you'll get a free bet back up to $10. Action is good. Why bet NFL playoff anywhere else? I'm definitely using this weekend when my Niners are taking on those darn Hawks. It's going to be a good game, though. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. New customers can bet $5 on the NFL and get $200 in free bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with THPN. Minimum age and some restrictions apply. See the show notes for details.
All right, guys. Well, I've got a little game to play with you two. I'm gonna make it pretty quick because the episode's dragging on a little bit, but a little game of over under. I'm gonna give you a player or team or something, kind of what they're on pace for, and if they're gonna go over or under it. And you guys are gonna tell me which one you think, and that's pretty much it.
That's we did one. Was that beginning of the year? Or
Yeah,
before
with
the
Ty.
season. Was that before the season started?
Before this, yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Nice.
So this year, Rasmus Anderson is he's got 5 goals and 22 assists for 27 points. He's on pace for about 54-ish points, 53, 54 points. His career high is 50, which was last year. He's already tied his career average in goal, or sorry, his career high in goals.
Mhm.
So do you guys think he's gonna go over 50 or under?
Take it away, Ray.
I'll take the over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's been playing pretty well, and he seems to be getting a little bit more confident in shooting that puck a little bit more, which is good because it seems when that guy shoots a puck, good things happen. So, I'm going to take the over on this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna be closer to 62. The way he's been leading the rush more and more every game. It's very noticeable. He's super confident in the offensive zone right now. And I think good things are going to happen because of it. So I'm going to say give or take 1 around the 62 mark.
Nice. Yeah, no, I'm probably about the same. Well, I think he's gonna be just around 50. I'm not sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say exactly 50. He'll tie.
So you think
But
he's
he'll
going to
have-
have a worse second half than first half?
Most likely, I think the rest of the team is probably going to have a better second half, so he won't need to score quite as much. But I do think he's obviously going to break his career high in goals because he's already there. He's probably going to score around 9 or 10 goals.
Yeah. Fine with
Okay,
that.
Elias Lindholm, career high 42 goals but he's only on pace for 26 this year.
Mm.
I'm going to ask you guys over under 30.
Ooh.
Because
Under 30.
obviously he's starting to get better and scoring more. So
33. I think he'll get 33.
Ray, what about you?
Oh, you had to go over it. See, I was gonna be right on that 30 mark, but unfortunately, I think he's gonna fall short by one. I think it's gonna be 29.
Okay.
Damn
I
it.
think he's gonna I agree with Chris on this one. I think 32, 33-ish. He's speeding up. He's only got 13 goals, but he's definitely speeding up. That's my thought anyways.
Yeah.
And the team around him is gonna get better. So
Man,
I mean it has to.
if only he could be as good as Mangiapane and get 35.
Huh. Speaking of
Hmm.
as good as Mangiapane, Lucic has 4 goals this year.
He's not going to get 35.
No, but I'm gonna ask: is he going to be over under 10? He's got 4.
He's got 4? No,
No,
I'll give him 7.
3 more the rest of the season.
I don't know. It depends on how long he plays on that line, right?
Yeah. What do you
Yeah.
think, Ray?
Sustainability. He's gonna, 10. I don't think so. I'm gonna have to agree
Yeah.
with Chris.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think
I
I'm going
reached a little
7
bit on that.
7 or
yeah.
8.
I mean, I'd love to do this 6 more times, but I don't know.
Yeah. I think 8's pretty fair to say.
Yeah, I could go with 8.
Yeah. Okay, one more. Naz is on pace for 32 goals, which I believe would tie his career high. What do you guys think? Over under 32 goals for Naz. Ray, you go.
I'll go over 34.
Ooh. Ballsy.
See, I was going to say 37.
Oh wow.
I
Really?
feel like he started the season hot and then had that lull for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think currently he's loving playing with Huberdeau, and I don't think he wants that to end. So I can see him busting his ass to really keep it going.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, I'll say 37.
Yeah. I'm gonna go under. I'm going with 28.
Always a pessimist.
Not always. I said Luch is gonna get more goals than both of you motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like 1 more goal.
Yeah, you're right.
So here's an interesting one.
Yeah.
We've got 4 forward prospects who are kind of on the cusp of being called up or being played sometimes, maybe. Walker Dewar, Matthew Phillips, Connor Zari, and Jacob Pelche.
Yep.
Currently, they've combined for 3 games played. Are they going to have a combined 15?
15.
Yes, over under.
Under.
Yeah, definitely under.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, unless we start losing bad and we're like out of the playoffs, I think that's the only way.
Scorched
getting
earth
to that number.
rebuild.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. Yeah, if things are really in the shit a month from now, 2 months from now, then
Sutter gets
sure.
fired.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it'll be closer to 10. Dewar's going to get another game or two. Probably we don't know how long Richie's out, do we?
Oh, we don't. And that's I've heard rumors, I don't know how true it is, that could be kind of a serious longer term thing, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, like I don't really remember seeing any sort of announcement from the Flames at all on that.
Yeah, no, that's like I said, rumor. I haven't heard anything from an official source.
Yeah. So that being said, Dewar could potentially rack up that number.
You could potentially get
Like
a few in there. Hey,
I don't think Phillips is playing another game.
no, I don't specifically want him to.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Pelche will probably get, I'll say
Two.
two, three, maybe.
you
You know, just to see what we got in him.
if a center goes down, I could see Zeri coming up, but I don't think Souther's going to throw anybody in. I guess the Horn is out too, so I don't know. But,
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm like, there's somebody. Yeah, what happened to him?
Zahorna? I don't even know. Like both Richie and Zahorna, like at least I saw what happened to Richie. He was like shaking his hand going off, but I have no idea. I haven't heard. I know they're both hurt, but I don't know what.
Yeah. Yeah, at least with Gilbert, we knew what happened, right?
Yeah. Well,
man, that was a hell of a punch. Speaking of hell of a punch, hey Ray, when was the last time you were at zero latency?
Oh, a couple weeks ago. Oh, that would have been Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
We were there for the little orphans Christmas. Yeah, we were there.
Yeah. That's when you sent the
out.
picture of Malcolm with Big Earn, right?
That's right.
Yeah. See, even the Flames like to celebrate gatherings at zero latency on Tilt, a VR specialty facility. It's a really cool establishment. They've got VR for, I don't know how many people do they throw in there? Like
I think they can get up to 8.
There's 8. Yeah, I was gonna say between 7 and 10. So yeah, I think you're right with 8. It's a really cool place. They've got big screen TVs, great place to watch a game, whether it be Flames game, whether it be Sunday football, whatever the case may be. They've got a open bar with food. They've got pool table. It's got a nice little lounging area to sit and chat with your friends. Really, really cool place. I'm going to be throwing a link up in the description of this podcast. But also with that, Dan from Zero Latency has also authorized me to hand out a $25 voucher for their building. So, it can be used for drinks, could be used for actually playing VR, whatever you choose. But you're going to have to win it. If anybody that is watching wants to win it, hopefully you're in the Calgary area. If you're not, then come to Calgary and check it out because it's really super cool. I just need you to comment. I need you to comment in here, and I'm looking for an answer. In an episode that we had can't remember if it was the last one or the one before that. Might have been the one before that. I can't remember. One to 3 episodes ago, Dylan and I were discussing kind of our favorite moments since. Well, I guess was it in Flames history or
since 2004?
It was 2004, right?
Yeah.
So obviously we picked a super moment being last year, Game 7 against Dallas in overtime with Johnny with that goal, catapulting us into the second round. It was a big moment for the Calgary Flames. But we also picked what our favorite moment was since 04. And if you can answer that question and put it in the comments, you're going to be put into the draw for a $25 gift voucher for Zero Latency, whenever you want to use it. All you have to do is provide your answer. If there's 1, if there's 2, if there's 10, they all go in a hat, and I'm going to draw it. I'll draw it on the next episode. So if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. Awesome place, awesome staff. Just go and have some fun.
Sounds like a blast. When I come down to Calgary, if we've got time, I'd love to go down there and check it out.
That's right. Yeah, you're coming to Calgary for the Chicago game at the end of the month on 26th.
Hope
It'll
it's
be
not
fun.
quite as much of a shit show as the last one.
No, it won't be. No.
Yeah, that VR place is dope. I'm gonna say, yeah, it's pretty cool, man. You've never seen VR like that before. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
Without a doubt,
Yeah.
it's fully immersive, man. It's quite intense. It's a good time.
I've played some VR video games. My buddy got the Oculus system a couple years ago, I think, and I tried it out a little bit. It's really cool, but I've never actually been into a VR room, so
Right.
so it sounds like a blast.
Yeah, it's really neat. I mean, awesome technology and the experience there is top notch.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Plus, like dome hockey. Maybe you and Bruback can go around, go up around the dome hockey.
Yeah, that'd be good, right?
All right, well, I got a couple more non-Flames related over-unders for you guys. Just some pretty crazy things happening around the league. So I'm going to start with what seems to be everybody's feel-good player, or a lot of people's feel-good player of the season, in Tage Thompson. He's on pace for 114 points right now.
Not bad.
Yeah. But I'm going to say over under 110.
I'm going to say 105.
Which is still crazy good.
Oh yeah. Not taking anything away from him, but I mean, he's had an unbelievable first half of the season.
It's like every other game is a hat trick. He's had a 4-goal game, a 5-goal game. Like,
yeah.
What do you think, Ray? Over under 110.
I'm a big fan of the young Sabres, so I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna go over by one. I think he'll get 111. He'll get 111.
Think about that team.
That's not gonna surprise me either, right?
Yeah. No, like they're a high scoring team, right? Like they let in way too many goals, but they score a shitload of goals. I don't really see that changing. And the way Thompson plays, he has so many tricks in his bag. Like he is fun to watch. I'm gonna say over as well. Probably one. I think he's gonna meet his pace, 114.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
There it is. 105, 111, 114. I like it.
And Alex Ovechkin at 37 years old, he's on a 58 goal pace, which is fucking absurd.
Yeah.
But and he's done it with Dylan Strome and I don't even know who else, Connor Sherry on his line, because Backstrom and Wilson have been hurt and now they're back. But is he going over or under 55?
You know what? I'm not gonna be one of those guys that gets caught in hating on Ovi. I'm going over 56.
Might stick Vladimir on you.
I will be that guy. I'm going to say 48.
Which is still crazy for a 37.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, no,
50 is my number on him, but
50s, yeah, that's fair.
He's getting that record. Like,
oh, yes, without question. He's not leaving NHL until he gets it, I think.
Oh, no. Even
right,
like,
but it's not even like, I think it's close.
It's going to be another year and a half.
Oh, easily it'll be another. He's obviously not going to hit it this year, but it's just a matter of time. We're all just passengers on the OV train to pass and Gretzky. So let's enjoy it.
And it's fun to watch too, because he's also, man, he's a wrecking ball out there. He hits and he fucking destroys people.
Well, they threw that up there. They threw that stat up. He's got more hits than the next 4 guys behind him combined.
Yeah. Well, Chris and I were talking earlier because I've got him on my fantasy squad. We were talking about guys who, like, even when they're not producing, they're still getting you fantasy points because they're hitting or whatever. Ovechkin had 6 shots on goal and 2 penalty minutes today, and he didn't even have a goal or an assist. You know, like,
yeah,
you're doing something to help the team, right?
You can I can say all that hit, and you can thank Team Canada, the junior team, when he played against Team Canada and the juniors, and they beat him up so bad he left in the second period, and then he gets in the NHL, and all of a sudden he's not only a scoring machine, but he's a wrecking ball now too.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Well, he hits like a truck. Like, he's solid as fuck.
He's a big man.
Yeah.
I
I really appreciate that you use that as a as a means to acquire more fantasy points, because I do remember a discussion in our league where you're, I won't say complaining, but you're saying you think it's dumb that players are rewarded with penalty minutes to
I do think it's dumb.
Yeah.
But like
My
I
league used to be
always
like that
draft
hybrid.
I always draft Marchand because of that.
yeah.
Right? Like it's always something I do in fantasy, but it is stupid that they're rewarded with penalties.
Mhm.
But anyways, last one. Speaking of rewarded with penalties in Marchand, the Bruins are on crazy pace. They've only lost 4 games in regulation so far this season.
Yeah, it's been
They're on
unreal.
pace for 137 fucking points. Yeah.
No.
No, no. I'm gonna say 125.
Okay.
Who's their
Still
starting
no.
goaltender?
What's that?
Who's their starting goaltender? Because it's not.
Minus
It's not
Allmark?
Allmark. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
And,
Linus
and they're-
Allmark 1A, Jeremy Swayman 1B.
and they're projected to get how many
137.
They've lost 4 games,
points? Oh, no,
right?
they're not.
They've lost 4 games in regulation and they've lost 4 games in overtime. They're, I can't remember exact 38 4-4 or something like that. 36
Oh,
4
they
and
better
4.
start. They better start losing now before they start losing when it matters.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, 137 points, not a chance.
I don't think there's a chance in
Not a
hell.
chance.
I'm gonna say
120 though. The over under is 120 on that one.
I'm gonna say 114.
That's still
Yeah.
enough to
Still-
win.
Yeah, it's still likely going to win the president.
Mhm.
Hopefully, in there, hopefully it doesn't end up being the president's curse, right? Because they're going to have to face Toronto in the first round, so they can eliminate Toronto in the first round. There's only one way to do that.
I
and
hate it when they do that, man. It really sucks.
it pisses me off.
What with Toronto?
When
lose in
Toronto,
the first round.
yeah, when
Yeah.
That's
Boston,
like better. That's like better. Christmas.
that's when I'm crying about my own team, I just look up the screen and go, "Oh damn, Toronto just lost 7th game again."
Oh man.
Oh man,
That's right.
Round 1, game 7,
Oh,
Toronto looks
shucks.
kind of like
Maybe next year, guys.
Calgary against fucking Chicago the other night, where they just give up fucking goals like nobody's business.
so should they just call themselves the 67s?
Yeah,
I think they should change the name to get rid of the Leafs.
they should move to Ottawa too.
Agreed.
Ottawa 67s. Anyways. Yeah, Ray, you think they're gonna get 120?
No, I don't think so. I just think they'll start slowing down here a little bit, and you'll see kind of some different changes in the lineup. I guess once they get closer to once they get to that point where they know that they've clinched the president's trophy. I guess because I mean that's a lot of points. I think you'll see them start to kind of just rest some of their guys. and
They're
let
gonna
them-
rest some of their guys, but
They're
think
going to
about
have
this.
to look at the age, right, of a lot of their players. They're going to have to rest some guys.
Marchand, Bergeron, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
But like the first month of the season, they didn't have Marchand or McAvoy, and they're still on pace for 137. It's fucking
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I still think they're under off 118.
118,
Well,
yeah. Which is again, that's President's Trophy, like almost for sure.
Yeah.
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 I can be with you guys. I think 120. I think right on 120,
wow.
which is still pretty fucking crazy.
That
It's not
yeah,
137, but it's crazy. Imagine
what-
if they actually get there. They lose 8 games all season.
like that'd be
That'd
fucking
be
nuts.
insane.
Did you know damn well what's going to happen? They'll be knocked out in the first round.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
then
well,
all,
that's exactly.
so they go from losing 8 all season to losing 12 for the year.
Yeah.
I mean, if we've learned anything about the president's trophy, it's
Yeah.
not really the thing you want to be going into the playoffs with.
No, no,
No.
no. Don't grab that trophy, right?
Just don't even look at it. Just get it off the ice.
Yeah,
Put it
just-
in the trophy cabinet, and
Yeah.
we'll look at it later.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that in June.
That's right.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like they've been playing unreal hockey right now and winning games like handedly too, right? Like they're
And
not.
structured, like
Yeah,
handedly. Yeah, it's not like they're ending like all of our games, even the ones we're winning, they're nail biters right up till the end, and it's fucking stressful. But Boston fans are like sitting back and stopped paying attention halfway through the first, and like it's
I mean,
nuts.
we beat the Islanders 4-1, and I was still worried.
Yeah,
Right? I
well,
shouldn't
that's
have to feel like that.
well, yeah, exactly.
Well, that was my biggest worry. And then others going to say that. I was just like, okay, when does the wheels fall off here? Like, at what point in
Yeah.
time do we start to go back to what we've been doing all year long? And
Exactly.
thank God it didn't happen. I was like, oh, maybe they've turned a new page. Maybe they've kind of figured this thing out. And then nope. Then they go to Chicago and it's all kind
of yeah. Then no.
Well, something's gonna have to give here with the Flames. It's frustrating to watch.
well,
I'm kind of tired of them just
frustrating.
always. I'm tired of them always saying, "Oh, we're gonna have to grind out every game, and every game's gonna be a 1-goal game. Just score another fucking goal." Like, come on.
Tell you what, win a 1-goal game first and foremost, and then we can talk about all the other things behind that. But until they can do that,
win a 2-goal game or a 3-goal or a 4-goal game.
Yeah.
Win some games.
And that's all they have to. I mean, I don't even care. They don't even have to be the prettiest win in the goddamn world. I want 3 points.
I mean,
I don't want one. I want the whole kit and caboodle, right? Enough of this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sharing points.
In their defense, they won the last 2 games of December by 1 point against Seattle and Vancouver, but they lose way more than they win of those games.
Yeah,
way more.
It's just tough to watch, being in the building, supporting the team, all that stuff. I mean, it really doesn't mean anything, I guess, but it's just, for guys like us that have been around for a long time and been fans of the team, we've seen them at their absolute worst, right? It's kind of disheartening that we haven't turned that last page in that chapter yet. And it's just, the more and more it goes on, the more frustrating it gets. And I mean, social media has a lot to do with that too, right?
It does, right?
Like, it's frustrating being even on your own fan page is frustrating, right? Because it's just, you can see the passion and the anger, and it's kind of, it's starting to boil over a lot more now. People are starting to get a lot more vicious with their words to their fellow fans. But
yeah, I've had to message a few people in the Flames hub and be like, "Hey, dude, like, we're all trying to cheer for the same team here. We should probably
man, it's just sports. Like, we're not out trying. We're not out there. These guys know exactly what we're thinking, because they can see what we're thinking, because it's for all to see if you want to see it, right?
That's right.
So I think we just all need to calm down, and I think, like that, the team's got to figure out what they want to do, right?
At the same time,
with certain players and
yeah. But like, at the same time, don't be saying people aren't fans of the team because they're being passionate. That's like quite the opposite of what's happening.
Well, that's always the stupid comment that I see the most. It's like my most hated comment in Facebook sports world is, well, you're not a true fan, or you're not a real fan, or whatever the case may be.
The real fan, or I mean, how many times do we say, "Oh, you sound like an Oiler fan"? Fuck off! Like, every team's fan base says the same things about their teams. Like,
you know what? I'll give the Calgary fans this. I'll give them this much kudos and so on and so forth with other Canadian teams that we've seen. Mm-hmm. At least we have enough dignity, even though when our team's not playing well, that we keep our jerseys off the fucking ice.
And that
I was going to say, I haven't
that
seen
absolutely needs to continue.
Yeah. Although I did see over the summer, I saw some people burning. I had to rip a guy a new one there, because he was trying to share a bunch of videos of him burning all of his old jerseys and stuff. And I'm like,
you paid like how much for that thing?
At the very least, there's some people downtown that could really use a shirt. Like, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, it's ignorant to do somebody
Well,
like that,
consider-
he's probably buying all his shit off China, and they're $20 each.
Yeah,
He was just trying to flex, but
but still, it's
still stupid. Yeah,
what you're showing is fucking stupid.
yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
well,
Anyway.
it's childish, right? It's like it's what children do when they don't get their way, right? They throw temper tantrums. That's essentially it's the adult version of the sports temper tantrum. Oh well,
Yeah,
this guy left me so I'm gonna burn his jersey that I paid
You know,
$250 for,
but
and then I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna buy another
that's
jersey.
right.
And if I don't like the way that goes, I'm gonna light that on fire too. Because well, I got my money and I can do it. It's just give, like you said, give the jersey away to the homeless, give it to some less unfortunate children that are
Yeah.
fans of the team or whatever the case may be. But just keep it off the ice and keep
Yeah.
a lighter
Yeah,
Like,
be
I
an,
was-
away from
be an
them.
adult, right?
Or at least if you want, if you don't want to watch it because we don't care.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid, we weren't poor, but we weren't rich or anything. But like we didn't, I would have loved to have had a jersey. Like my mom would never spend $250 on a fucking shirt, right? So I would have loved if some person who was tired of watching their team lose just gave me a fucking Christian Huselius jersey. Know what I mean? Like I would have been like, this is fucking incredible, right?
Oh,
I would have
100%.
loved it.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. I think more people on social media need to. I mean, whenever I'm at that point where I'm ready to just vent, I put my phone down and I just kind of go. I'll just be here in my basement by myself for a good 30 minutes and thinking about what's going on, and then I can come back out and I can
See,
go
I
back
just
and,
talked to
and then I can respond properly, like a grown up.
I just talked to the wife, right? She's a Colorado Avalanche fan. She's been a Avalanche fan for a long time, but it's usually when I start getting angry and I want to start flexing my feelings about how I hate the team, I usually just, well, honey, they're not doing this and they're not doing that. And she's like, well, you're right. It's okay, honey. Like,
Well, and
it'll be
and
fine.
your wife is an athlete, so she
like,
gets
okay,
it.
you know what?
Yeah, your wife is an
That's
athlete as well,
exactly
so
it.
she
That's
gets
exactly it.
it.
I'm like,
She knows sports.
she played at a top level, so
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll take her opinions any day of the week, right? Because she understands it better than most, right? And that's the thing she always says is just, honey, it's just a game. It's just sports. You're not the one playing it. So just imagine how bad you feel right now, because you can guarantee those guys feel about twice as worse as you do, right?
Oh,
now.
absolutely.
And that usually saves me from saying, oh, well, so and so's this and so and so's that. I mean, as much as I don't like certain guys right now and their ability to play the game, I know they're beating themselves up far worse than I could ever hope to do, right? So
And I'll
just
tell you one
kinda,
thing, our team specifically, like very rarely can I say they're not putting work in. Like quite often they're just like either they're getting unlucky with shots or they're shooting when they shouldn't be, but they're fucking trying. Like Mangiapane is a perfect example of that. He's always trying. He's just bad at staying on his feet. Like, but he's always trying to do something fucking crazy.
well, he's just having, he's having one.
Yeah.
It's one of those things too, right? You got the dollar number put beside. If the guy was making, 2 million or whatever, we wouldn't fucking give a shit that he hadn't scored fucking a bunch and he's minus fucking 6 or minus 4. Well, he's probably minus 4 now after last night, but like if he wasn't getting paid $5.8 million, people wouldn't care. They would not care if he was making 960,000 and be like, oh fuck, okay, well,
they'd care a lot less. That's for sure.
I'm one of those people. I've never cared about what the salary is. I've never blamed a player for their salary. They're trying to get whatever they can possibly get. That to me is on the GM. There's two signatures on that contract, right?
Yeah.
Brad overpaid Mangiapane by $2 million, right? Everybody knows that.
But wasn't it the arbitrator that came back with that price tag?
No, they beat the arbitrator on that one.
I don't know.
Okay.
Cap Friendly says it was signed from arbitration.
Okay, I thought the last one was
Yeah,
signed
because
from
I'm pretty sure
arbitration and they wanted to
arbitration
beat it this time.
offered him.
Yeah. I don't know.
I could be wrong. I thought they skipped it this time, but
Yeah.
I could be
But
wrong.
again, it's that whole dollar thing, right? You put the dollar amount out there, and there's a certain, especially from fans, there's a certain expectation. Well, this guy's getting paid $5.8 million, so he's got to be scoring 30 goals. He's got to be scoring 30 goals, right?
That's right. They don't think about what else that player brings to the table. Like people piss and moan about Michael Backlund's contract. Like, get fucked.
No, it wasn't arbitration. Yeah.
Like Michael Backlund, I mean, when he's scoring and getting assists, it's phenomenal. That's not why he's on the team.
No.
Like he's one of the top 5 shutdown centers in the league.
He's the second best shutdown center in the league. If you look at all the fancy stats, I heard a interview with Dom Lecision or whatever. If Patrice Bergeron didn't exist, Backlund would be like far and away the
guy, right?
The guy for the Selke this year. So
right.
Oh, easily. I mean, he's always been kind of there, but like you said, like you got Patrice Bergeron's the guy on the other side of the ice, right? And it's like,
that's tough competition.
That's a tough one.
Yeah,
that's like as stiff competition as you can get that trophy.
Yeah. But yeah, people piss and moan about Backlund's contract all the time on social media. It's like, no, he's not there for that.
Contract what he brings to the team, though.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
What I mean? Like, he's a great two-way hockey player. The guy can score, and he can shut guys down at the same time. Who wouldn't want that? Could you imagine if you got 1/3 of the shutdown ability that that Backlund has, and you put that over to Connor McDavid? What would how great of a generational that guy would be? I mean, he's great now, but you'd never hear the end of it. Oh, he's the best two-way hockey player, generational two-way hockey player, and scorer, or whatever the case may be. Right?
Wait a minute. I'm gonna have to put.
We understand a lot of and what he brings to it.
When have you ever heard an end to how great McDavid is? You're not going to see it on Sportsnet.
Not yet.
Well, it's kind of funny how we don't have to listen to Cassie Campbell anymore, but yet we still have to listen to other people talk about McDavid, like just as much, including Ray apparently.
All right, Connor Bedard will come in. You'll forget about.
God, I hope so. So we're doing our tailgate meeting at work a couple of days ago, and we're discussing Bedard and potentially what team he's going to go to and things like that. And so we've decided that we're going to collectively grab $100 between myself and the staff, and we're actually going to lay a bet in Vegas. On Bedard becoming an actual bust.
A bust?
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna go the old. You're gonna go the old. What's his name there? You're gonna go the old Alexander Degg route, aren't you?
Yeah. And it's solely based on his size. I think he's gonna have. I believe he's gonna have a difficult time in the NHL. I don't believe he's gonna be a bad player, but I don't believe he's going to be the player that he's being projected to be.
That's kind of where I'm at too. Yeah. He's a phenomenal talent, and he's going to show it sometimes.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
It's not going to be a game in, game out thing throughout his career. It's going to be he'll show flashes, but he's going to realize, like, people are already like lining up to draft him in the first round in fantasy next year, and I'm like, are you first of all, he's going to be on a bad team, and he's going to be like, he's probably like, what do you want him to get 80 points in his rookie season? You want him to be Teemu Selanne? No, he's going to get like 45 points. Like, calm down.
I mean, realistically, yes, but I mean, like, the money line is like 1,000 to 1
on what?
On him being a birthday.
On him being a bust and or half of the projected production.
Yeah, that's not a terrible bet.
You know what? As far as I'm concerned, it's an easy one, really.
Yeah.
We're splitting that 5 ways with my guys, and it's worth a shot.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, and that being said, like obviously I hope that the kid comes in and rips up the league. I would love to hear more about Bedard and less about McDavid because, you know, obviously because of where we live. But
The only thing we're going to be happy to hear is when he leaves.
right. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Because one of them is leaving, if not both of them. I can guarantee you, if
I
Edmonton
mean,
keeps going down the slippery slope they're going down here, it's not looking good for those guys re-upping by the time
I
their
mean,
contracts come up.
well,
Because
that's it,
those,
right? Like
they want to win.
I honestly thought that beating us in the second round last year would give them a boost, which I'm like, yeah, that's all we need is more ego from Oilers players, right? But
but like Colorado has a team, not two players.
correct.
Well, that kind of team's only going to take you so far. I mean, sure, you can score in bunches, you can score a lot, but like you said, you come up against a team like Colorado, or you come up against a team in the Stanley Cup Finals and a team that like Boston and how Boston's playing right now. Boston mops the floor with Edmonton. We're not even getting to 5 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
I don't-
exactly. But
It's not
also
even.
the one thing with Colorado though, right? McKinnon's contract kicks in at the 12 mil next year, right? So
Yeah,
they're gonna
100 grand more than
they're
McDavid's.
they're gonna instantly be less of a team, right? Because they won't be able to keep everybody. Obviously, you know, they got rid of the Kadri. Got rid of Kadri this year and whatnot, but
But they won, so
that's right.
Yeah.
But that has been something that I've been talking about for, I don't know, 2 decades. How did they win?
Yeah.
Because he didn't have 2 fucking players making over $10 million a year. You can surround your players with good players and not just have 2 elite players and then have garbage at the bottom. That's how you win games.
Well, yeah, I mean the Kings
That's how you
were,
win
what is it? I want
championships.
to say LA is probably the last team that was built like you're saying, right? It's
Hmm.
like everybody on that Kings team when they won their 2 cups there were they were really good teams, but they were really good teams from top to bottom. I mean,
That's right.
you had a stellar goaltender in Justin Quick, but then you had Anze Kopitar and
well, their biggest
freaking all
like
those guys.
offensive
Right?
star at the time was like Marion Gaborik.
That's right.
Carter.
Jeff,
And
and like none of those guys are superstars, right?
No.
They're all star players, but none of them are like superstar, like top of the
stars, yeah,
league
exactly.
players.
But even if you look at superstars, like you look at a team like Pittsburgh that won a cup or 2 before Sid's big contract kicked in, like
And what's Sid's big
Letang.
contract? Like 8? I don't even know.
Yeah, but at the time you look at percentage, right?
Yeah. At the time, it was
It was
a
huge,
lot,
right?
but-
Yeah. So like when you think about that, like they're winning the championships and then getting paid.
and Taves and Kane won 2, and then was it 2 or 3? And then it was 2, I think. And then their contracts kicked in, and then they never won again.
Right. It's funny how that works.
Even those Chicago teams were defensively, those Chicago teams were pretty fucking good too.
They were, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe they won their first cup and then they got the big contracts and then they won another. But
I think they signed an extension and it kicked in after.
Is that what it was?
The second cup. I could be totally wrong, but either way, it was.
Yeah. But I mean,
it just goes to show that you got to build the you know, you can have superstars, you can have generation talents all you want, but unless you put the right players in place around those guys, it's not going to amount to much. When it matters, right? I mean, sure, you can be, you know,
I mean, you
highest scoring team in the regular season all year long. If it doesn't finish with the cup, then what's the point?
That's right. You got a team like Edmonton that has 2 guys with 47% of team scoring, and wonder why they're scraping by in a wild card spot. Like, I mean,
I think if you put him on I think if you put Connor McDavid on any other team that's in the playoffs or in the playoff hunt right now, that team wins the cup. There's no question about it because they have all the other pieces in place. They have
like
the defense.
Connor McDavid at like $7 million a year.
Well, yeah, Connor McDavid and still being able to sustain the cap, which, I mean, I don't know what what 12 million looks like at the trade deadline as far as cap. It's got to be what 4, 5.
Oh, if it's a 2/3 of the way through the season, I think so.
Yeah.
Something like 4. Yeah, 4 sounds right.
2/3. Yeah. Okay.
Because four times 3 is
It's 12.
12.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's not bad. I mean, if you can trade a contract away at the deadline to bring in, obviously, an elite
Or just
superstar.
or just get somebody hurt, and then they can come back, day one of the playoffs, even though it's
You know what? Every once in a while, your Tampa fandom comes into the podcast, and you're
Throw
like,
him on the LTIR, eh?
you know,
throw over the LTIR. Don't get me
There you
wrong.
go.
I think it's a fucking stupid rule, but it is a fucking rule.
It is a rule, and yeah, it's allowed.
It's fucking
They were the only-
stupid.
Thing is they were the only team that voted against it during the collective bargaining agreement when they brought that rule in.
Yeah,
But they
isn't-
somehow managed to like make it pay off the most. I think it's absolutely hilarious. I love every
Yeah.
minute of it.
I think it's hilarious because first opportunity or next opportunity they had for it, they just went, "Oh, actually, you know what? We'll show you how to do it."
Yeah, that's right. We didn't like this rule to begin with, but we're going to use it.
Yeah, damn right. Oh yeah, thanks everybody else for voting against it.
Yeah, well, Vegas almost got away with it last year too. Thank God they didn't make. Could you imagine all those guys coming off? Like Jesus,
Yeah,
Pacioretty, frickin' Stone was a defenseman there from LA that they got from LA. Him coming
Yeah.
back, dude, like that just been a
Martinez.
bloodbath.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Martinez
It would've
and
been a
Eichel.
bloodbath. Yeah, right.
Martinez, the guy that scored that overtime winner in the Stanley Cup game. I don't know if it was game 7, but it was game 6, I think. Stanley Cup for the Kings, assisted by Toffoli, won the cup.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, that was a nightmare. That would have been a nightmare for the league because all the other teams would have been knocking at the league's door, going, "Okay, this has to change. We need to change this now."
Yeah, this needs to end. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, do we end a Flames podcast on LA Kings winning the cup?
Sure.
Oh hell no!
Daryl Sutter and Tyler Toffoli winning the cup.
Attaboy. Well done.
There you go.
Way to twist it.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to twist it. Well, gentlemen, it's been a lot of fun talking shop with you guys for this fine evening in between a couple of St. Louis games. Let's hope that Thursday's game goes
We're gonna win 7-2.
just ooh shit.
Oh wow, that's hitting a home run. All right.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
I was
talk,
gonna say
we'll talk wager after the show, eh, Dylan?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna start
Just
Vladar.
don't put this show
Yeah.
up until after. No.
Yeah. Can we discuss? Can we find out who's starting in net first?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm Dylan and Chris. Thank you very much for coming on the show, Ray. It's
It
been
was
a
a
lot of fun.
blast.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Until we meet again.
Cheers.
Cheers. Go Flames.
Good, Joe. Go Flames.
Cheers.